November 17th, 9:52 a.m. This just kind of came up here again indirectly. They got one of their honeypots delivering a message, and like maybe I may not be alive here down the road, and somehow I'm thinking about the non-reality of all of this technology, and I'm smiling because it's insane. Everything, you act like all of this technology, all the shit you run through my head is real and true. That's one more. Actually, I'm glad this came up because it's one more I've got to bring up in the book. You all act like this is all real and true. You are amazing. You are so far removed from reality inside of my head. The whole thing is junk. I operate here based on the real world, not on the shit you run in my head. You, though, your agency and the CIA and the FBI, you run on the shit you run through my head. You run cartoons through my head constantly, and then from that you try and you act on it. So it's like you watching Saturday morning cartoons and you're like, oh, SpongeBob is dangerous. We got to kill the creator of SpongeBob. You people are, to say you're delusional isn't even good enough. The jokes I could get into here, but I'm just waking up, by the way. I haven't even had a cup of coffee yet. The point is, you react to this shit like it's real and true, and the reality is you don't even have my psychology correctly. It's why I never take any of this shit seriously. That was one of the surprises when I got to Phoenix. You're taking a lot of the scenario pushing and shit as real and true. Horvat and our officers knew the scenario pushing doesn't begin to be real or true because it's not based on my actual psychology. Horvat was selling it as real and true. I had no idea because it's got nothing to do with where I'm at. It's just like Horvat holding me in for personal reasons, and then I and Monica are supposed to believe that your agency went along with deliberately holding me in. You didn't even know she had deliberately held me. She had lied about my psychology, so I fit the agency standards and definition for why I should be held in. But that had nothing to do with reality. So look at it from my viewpoint and Monica's viewpoint. We're like, well, I'm being held in, and the Backyard doesn't know. Behind the scenes, you went along with it, but the reality is you didn't know the real circumstances. So then you go, well, everything you put in your file, the Backyard knew about. Therefore, you're incorrect about Horvat holding you in. You're amazing. That's not how you arrive at truth. You just cherry pick what it is you want to believe for feeling you're correct instead of doing your shit correctly and finding out and doing the math step by step and finding out, well, this all fits what he's saying. Point is, your agency never asked themselves, well, what if he is telling the truth? And then from there, they never did the math and looked at it from that viewpoint to see if he's telling the truth, then it's going to add up and fit, step by step, bit by bit, year by year. I'm not faking it. I am telling the truth, and that's why it all adds up when you do the math from my side of the fence, but your agency never did it. Your agency made an assumption, well, it can't be true. Hello? Like my parents, agents don't lie. Hello? It's like the FBI. These agents here for years on end, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2019. These agents here going, Patsy going, well, I can't be incorrect. Therefore, you are angry for different reasons. Hello? You think, this is how it goes. You think I'm incorrect, and you're angry, but you're actually delusional, and you're angry because you think you're correct, and you are not. So quite literally, what it gets down to is, well, I'm in denial of heavy mistakes made here. It can't be. This is the point. They're so egotistical, so delusional about themselves. delusions of grandeur about themselves. Oh, I'm an agent. Like that all of a sudden makes you correct. Can't be I made mistakes, therefore it must be your anger is because you're not getting what you want. Hello? Oh my God. One more point from my book. You are in denial of your mistakes. Furthermore, you didn't double check your shit. You just made assumptions about me. Furthermore, you got technology on me. You're ignoring real technology readings, and instead of understanding you're correct, you just go, well, you're delusional. That's why it reads that way. You're all fucked up. You're ignoring science for unconfirmed assumptions on your end. You don't get more arrogant than that. Then, when I'm actually angry, for all of the reasons I've stated, which anybody would be angry about, furthermore, it's not even about the stalking. It is about you fucking up and my being held in because of it. And then you go writing it off as, well, it can't be I made mistakes, so it must be you're delusional. You're not getting what you want. That is why you are angry. You literally reinvent my anger because you can't be incorrect. Nobody is more egotistical than this, and it's all of you. Here I am in the middle of it with a high IQ, dealing with agents and agencies for 30 plus years now. I understand how all of this works. Like your end of shit here is rocket science. Quite literally, it gets down to somebody who understands this shit as well as you do, and then you just can't handle that you fucked up. You can't handle. That's the point. I am a Jew. My opinion means so little in regards to your fucking mistakes. Furthermore, I get this shit the same way a goddamn agent does. It's like you got an agent in the middle of this telling you you fucked up in regards to all sorts of shit because it's not rocket science. But you act like you've got to be special and privileged and like you are geniuses. And only you can understand how to do this shit. You're full of shit about yourselves. That's the point. They are fucking up, and all they do is point to an image instead of the job performance and find out they fucked up. Furthermore, this started with Horvat, one of the most egotistical fuck-ups out there. How many agents in charge put on sex shows for the target? That's not about ego? You're not looking at a deeper reality and picture here in regards to the psychology of the people calling the shots. What's Horvat, a honeypot? She's multi-talented. Next, she'll be kicking my ass if I go back to Germany. She's going to think she's a kung fu expert next. Point is, you get egotistically challenged by the things I communicate to you instead of actually look at what it is I'm communicating. And that's in regards to your own fucking mistakes. It's like all the way back in Phoenix with the agents out in Phoenix. I put a song at the end of one of the videos I did for the alternative media in UN Beata. And I was like, well, in the background of my mind, I was like, well, guaranteed the FBI is going to react to this. I think I put a song hang on. I think I put Top of the Morning to you at the end of the song. I forget that they're blocking the name of the band, but I knew that's them. I knew they'd get egotistically challenged and react to it. And the FBI did. But the point is, I can easily predict the actions of agents and agencies. Anytime I step on your egos, it's a guaranteed response. And do you know how long it's been this way? The entire fucking time. You all have your own issues. That's the point. Anytime I want, I can push your buttons in regards to ego, and you always react. And I do mean always. And it's all of you. And the funny thing is, you can't see this about yourselves. You go, well, he's being egotistical. It never occurred to you that I'm pushing your buttons. But yet there's a way that I've been able to do this and see this the entire time. Strangely enough, since you're too busy not cleaning your act up, you don't even get where I'm coming from in regards to that. And why don't you clean your act up? Because you're too busy being egotistical and having an egotistical reaction, instead of actually considering the possibilities and analyzing what it is I'm saying and looking at what it is I'm saying. Strangely enough, that requires real work and performing as real agents. You are too busy taking this as a game instead of actually being people who have degrees in psychology and an agency background doing their jobs. That's the truth of it. Maybe Horvat needs to fuck more women to get her head straight. Maybe she needs to put on more sex shows for the targets before she can get her head on straight here. Maybe Patsy needs to have somebody else kick the shit out of more targets before she can get her head on straight with me. You people are shameless in your job performance here. And again, it's based on the agents in charge, and I deal with two narcissists, two egoists. You know, you are as shameless as my mother. Here's a perfect example, because this is actually the circumstances with Horvat and Patsy here. 2008, I called my father up before the stock market crashed. And I told him, I said, look, I've been deep diving in regards to this. You got to sell your stocks. I said, you got to sell your stocks. And my father wants to pretend he's a big shot in regards to money. He grew up, for David and Bill, he grew up in the slums of Connecticut. I'm the only person in the family who's been back to his old neighborhood. I've seen where he grew up. And the point is, he equates his now having money with being intelligent. Like, he's in his own head, he's a self-invented big shot. Like Patsy and Horvat here. So there's one more good example. That's not the truth. That's not how reality works. Your having money does not make you intelligent. Paris Hilton is rich as shit, and she has an IQ of 80, which is borderline mentally retarded. Hello? But she made a sex tape and made a shitload of money from it. So there's one for Horvat, a line of work for her. Not intelligent, but you can do sex shows. So the point is, I call up, I speak with my mother, I speak with my father. It's only been a couple of times where I've spoken to my father for about an hour. And one was after Horvat revealed this technology, and I was pissed off. I was like, well, Horvat knew the truth about the rape framing the entire time. I went off. So that was one time he was on with me for about 45 minutes. The only other time he's been on the phone a long time with me was this, the whole stock market thing. So what I did is I spoke with my mother and my father. I said, you got to sell your stocks. It's going to crash. And he's like, well, if it does, it'll just go back up and my stocks will be worth money again, eventually in time. And I said, yeah, that's not the point, though. What you want to do is sell all your stocks while they're high. Then when it crashes, you buy up your stocks again, if that's the route you want to take, and you buy them at dirt cheap, and you can, like, double the amount of stocks you have. And then when it goes back up, you're going to have way more than you did before. It's not what my dad did. Yeah, when I brought it up with my father here in the last couple of months, because I wanted to see his reaction, he's like, the last few months, he was like, yeah, well, they went back up, and I quote, from his point of view, I didn't really lose any money. Hello? So he reinvents how this all played out and the reality of things to make himself look intelligent. So I didn't really lose any money. Actually, he lost $35,000 when it crashed in 2008. He's like, well, eventually they got back up there, so it's like he didn't lose anything. Hello? Point is, he could have made $35,000 at the least. He could have made a lot more than that, because he could have taken that extra money and bought stocks in regards to other markets and stuff. If he had done his shit, intelligently, which clearly he cannot do. So then I call back up after it crashes, and I get my mother on the phone. I said, look, I told you it was going to crash. And you know what my mother said to me? In denial. She goes, well, of course, Stephen, it's obvious now. Hello? That is a statement of my mother. She knows nothing about how any of this works. She just listens to a radio to feel like she understands stuff. She doesn't actually understand the inner workings of things. All she does is quote somebody else off the news. Hello? Just like my father. That's not being intelligent. Oh, I've got money, I'm intelligent now. That's not how shit works. Oh, I'm an agent. I've got this job title of agent. I know now. I'm intelligent now. That's not how shit works. Furthermore, you haven't done your job performance, so it's a lie, just like with my parents. But the point is, I pointed out to my mother, and she goes, oh, well, it's obvious now. That's a statement of where she was. For her, it is obvious now. She just took 2 phone calls I'd made, which were an hour long before it crashed, and just ignores that and pretends I'm an idiot and like I never said any of it. Horvat and her officers, they couldn't shut up about it. They're like, oh my God, doesn't your mother know that we're there and we know? She's shameless, my mother. And it's the same thing here with Patsy and Horvat and all of you. You're denying basic realities for your cheap viewpoints. There's no reality to all the shit you run in my head because you're not correct about 99% of it in the first fucking place. It's why I ignore it. But you are reacting to it. So then I've got to take things seriously. It's why I've done these videos about death threats. I'm supposed to trust you fuck-ups. And yeah, okay, things have gotten cleaned up here in the last few months. I've sent you some video links. It doesn't change my end of shit. When you're this stupid, nobody's taking chances. Nobody off the street, none of you would be, you would also post a video about the possibilities. It's not where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from is where I've been at for the last 21 years. So that's it for the moment. See if any other points come up. Maybe I just do one big video of points that come up along the way here. You know, I just do quick video recordings as a point comes up, and then it'll actually be an informative video. Here's one more. Just the other day, I was like, well, that's it for Horvat's fucking up here and stuff. I'm going to do videos about this and all the shit going on here with Patsy. They used Horvat's voice. It's irrelevant. It could be either one of them. This is where you believe your own bullshit yet again. This is how you fuck up. You go, well, he's incorrect. He thinks it's Horvat, but it's actually Patsy. Like, it changes the point. This is where you pretend to be agents. It doesn't change a goddamn thing. It doesn't matter which person it is, you fuck-ups. So I started addressing all of these points in Horvat's lying mouth, pointing out this is deliberate, this is deliberate. Yes, there's been a lot of fucking up. There's no doubt about that one. I can give a specific example from 2009, before Horvat woke up, by the way, and our officers. They're bumping out the point. Hang on. But the point is, it turns into, well, you're going after me like it's revenge and anger. Yeah, I'm angry. No, actually, I am pointing out the truth. And that is it for your fucking up. And then you write it off as a revenge campaign. But the point is, you, as a German agent, you don't stop and consider the possibilities of what the circumstances are in my psychology. These agents, these two idiots go, well, it can't be I'm making mistakes, therefore they rewrite my anger as something else. Hello? Just like my mother and my father here. You just feel what to believe and just rewrite shit the way you want to make it fit, because you don't want to admit or even check to see if you've made mistakes. Yes, strangely enough, it's based on all of your mistakes that I'm angry in the first place. Whoops. Agents. You're a bunch of overpaid fuck-ups. One more perfect example. Bettina's mother. If you get where I was before I got put in the gang stalking and when I was dealing with law enforcement, you get it wasn't that difficult for me to pick up on the fact that Bettina was doing shit for Horvat. So then what Horvat does is she goes through your agency, gets permission, and murders Bettina's mother. Now, back when I was with Horvat, my whole thing was just common sense. I'm like, well, okay, I caught Bettina screwing up, doing things on behalf of Horvat. Really, she was targeting our daughter, by the way. And she's doing this for Horvat. And you go, well, she screwed up, and then Horvat got permission from your agency to murder her mother with technology, with signs, and which went on for weeks, and then her mother was murdered with this technology. And the whole point is, you didn't even look at basic realities. You didn't stop and ask yourself where I was 30 years ago And, you know, years before in America, where was I with the FBI? And then just do the math on that one, say, well, it wasn't that difficult. It's not that difficult for him to figure out that Bettina's doing this on purpose for Horvat. You just said, okay, yep, we're going to whack Bettina's mother. Yeah, you got permission. Go ahead, kill her mother. And then take a look at it from my point of view. I was like, what was I supposed to think? Okay, Bettina's screwed up. She's doing this shit for Horvat here. She screwed up. So then what? You go and murder her mother? How was I supposed to get that one? It doesn't even make sense. But then you go, oh, well, you made a mistake. Yeah, I made a mistake based on how out of touch agents and agencies are in the first place. Hello? But that mistake, you're pointing at my mistake instead of yours. Furthermore, look at how I made mine. I'm supposed to think, well, Bettina made a mistake, so, yeah, they murdered her mother. Hello? How much sense does that make? As a statement of how out of touch with the reality agents and agencies are, that shit actually makes sense for you. That's because it's not one of your family members. You just murder without even thinking about shit. Your agency did that. Actually, you did it based on a very dumb mistake, really. Because really, if that qualifies for murdering somebody, then really it's just about, well, you just murder whoever you want, whenever you want, just based on your own feelings. There's not even a qualification for murdering anymore. Hello? So it's just anarchy. You do this without even a logical cause from your side of the fence. The reality is it wasn't difficult for me to catch Bettina at all, and you murdered her mother. Hello? That's a statement of how out of touch with reality you are. But nobody did the math on it. You know, how difficult do you think it was for me to spot Bettina? It wasn't difficult at all. So I expect the FBI to be murdering their own people around here left and right, because I see all sorts of shit about their people all of the time. All of the time, all of their people are fucking up based on where I'm actually at. So I guess you got a lot of killing to do now. And it's all your own people. If we're going to take how you do your shit here, like with Bettina's mother, that is how you should be doing it then. So really, but you go, oh no, not that. So really, you just cherry pick things. It's just anything, anywhere you feel like doing it, you do it. Because you don't do any kind of real thinking before you go doing it. So Patsy here's got a lot of her own people to murder now. And that is by your rule of anarchy here. That's what I'm going to start to call it, your rules of anarchy. You don't even have any structure, rules, anything in regards to your side of the fence now. That's the one I get. This is where I'm totally different now. And then, strangely enough, Horvat and her officers, and then all agents here, have been making a game of, well, it's stalking, we don't have to check. That's how sure you aren't fucking up. And here I am in the middle of it all, paying for your mistakes, like anything else could possibly motivate me into giving you the truth. Hello? And instead you make a game out of your mistakes, and you don't double check everything you believe. You have your cheap viewpoints and perceptions, which you never double checked because you can't be wrong, and it's a game, and I'm being egotistical. Hello? All of it that you accuse me of is actually what you're guilty of. You haven't even looked at my motives. You haven't looked at reality in regards to me at all. You haven't even looked at basic things here. That's on you. That's why this is headed towards a big mess. And they're like, oh, okay, well, it's finished. And, you know, that's not them. That's me. I'm finished with it. And they're like, well, it's just stalking. Well, great. Then don't misuse technology for holding me in. I ought to be free here in the first place. If you get how big your goddamn mistakes are, you wouldn't be making a game out of it in the first place. There's no difference, Jurgen, from my parents. This is also what I bring up in my book here, the comparison with the Bekia and my parents. You see something which is not even true about me and then attack me over it. You believe what you want to believe about me so that you've got a reason for attacking me. But it's all self-invented and in your own heads, just like my parents here. There is absolutely no difference. Your biggest mistake here was, instead of listening to reality, the truth of what I'm speaking here, you pretend to be agents and then you go reversing shit. That's how you fuck up every single time. The comparison between my parents and the Baekya is absolute. There's absolutely no difference. I had to do videos about my parents because people go, well, it's his parents. They must know him. Hello? Oh, my God. And you've done the same thing here with Baekya. Well, it's Horvat and her officers. Horvat must know. She lied. This is why I said you've not been focused on job title. You've not been focused on the psychology of a psychopath and the fact that she and her agents are corrupt. You've been focused on job title. You've done the same thing as my parents here. Oh, they must be telling the truth. They're agents. They must know they're agents. It's the exact same thing. You go, well, what you're doing is you're looking out there and you're finding a comparison. And then you're saying that's how it is in your life. And that's why you believe it is that way. This is how you've been the entire way. You are outside in. You are grabbing something over there and then saying it's real and true. No, actually, this is the experience I am having. I look right here at my parents, and there is the example of how the Baekya has been here. You are the ones who are grabbing things from the outside, not me. I am explaining to you my circumstances and giving you a goddamn comparison based on the circumstances. There is a world of difference. But since you start playing agent, you totally fuck it up. Furthermore, it's plain English. I'm speaking to your face. Yet you all have got to reinvent it so you can feel intelligent instead of realize, no, you're just fucking up. And that fucking up you do even right here and now keeps you from finding out all of your other mistakes. Hello? You're not listening and finding out you fucked up all along in the first place because you're too busy pretending to be agents, reinventing plain English and just common sense so that it makes sense for you. Like my parents believing I'm a rapist. Hello? There's no difference. Here's a perfect example of my father for you, Jurgen, and people from the alternative media. This is how unbelievable my father is. So we have these yellow jacket nests here. I forget what they're called in Deutsch, Jurgen. They're yellow and black. We call them yellow jackets, like gelbe Jacke. And the hotter it gets, the more hostile they become. All Vespen are this way. All Vespa are this way. And so I killed 3 nests. Now, my mother says, well, just leave them alone and they'll leave you alone. In other words, she was against me killing the yellow jacket nests. I was like, fuck her, we're getting rid of them because it's going to get hotter here and they're going to become more hostile and they just sting you for no reason. So I'm like, fuck you, I'm doing it. So I killed 3 nests all around the house here. Also dangerous to my cat, but we could care less about that one. And dangerous to my parents because they can't move quickly. You get it? So, and my dad sits out back and drinks wine. They love wine. So, especially since it's a sweet wine. So I get rid of the 3 nests, and then we have these paper wasps. They make a nest, they chew the wood, and then they make paper with it and make a nest. I don't know what you call them in German. We call them wasp. W-A-S-P-S. What is it? V-A-S-P-S. Wasp. So I'm going to the water back here to pour some water in a bucket or something, a Eimer, and all of a sudden, bam, something hits my leg. Hurt like shit, and it was one of these paper wasps. And so I tell my dad the story, because my dad starts copying my mother. She just keeps saying it over and over. You got to believe what I say, or else I'm going to yell and scream at you. So he just believes. He's a moron. So he's been telling me, well, just leave them alone, and they'll leave you alone. Hello? They're a couple of morons. So I get stung, and then I go over to him. I say, you see this? I just got this. I say, you know what I was doing? Over here getting water, and it just stung me for no reason. Point is, I'm pointing out to him consciously that the shit he keeps saying to me, just leave them alone and they'll leave you alone, is a total lie. It's real hot, and they're hostile, and anything that's even near them, they attack. So I get stung for no reason, just minding my own business, and that's what he's been repeating. And so I say to him, I don't tell him why. But I say, look, I was just minding my own, I'm just doing my own thing here. It stung me for no reason. Kind of laughs and whatever. So then I'm going by there like a week later. Same thing happens again. I get attacked all over again. Stung all over again. Go show him. Say I'm minding my own business. You know, I'm doing my own thing here. I don't say I'm minding my own business. Doing my own thing, and it stung me for no reason. So I didn't have the money at the time, but finally I get some money, I go and get some spray, and that's it for them. Get rid of them also. So then a few weeks back here, I'm out back. My father's out on the patio. I'm on the patio. I'm walking across the patio, doing my own thing, and one of these paper wasps starts attacking me, and I'm swinging at it. You know what my father says to me? After it flies away, he says, well, you just leave them alone and they'll leave you alone. Hello? It fucking attacked me for no reason in front of his face. And this is after I've been stung for no reason 2 times and showed him right after it happened and explained to him the circumstances where I am minding my own business and I got stung anyhow. Hello? Furthermore, he was not doing stalking. This is actually how he is. So for David and Bill, I take a look. This is the psychology of my parents here. They're total idiots. Absolutely amazing. Just like German agents, they feel what to believe. Except agents, German agents, are pretending to be agents. If I am speaking the truth directly to you, there is only one goddamn truth, Jurgen. And then you reverse it to get the truth. You're not reversing it to get the truth. What you're doing is you're reversing it to end up with something that's not true. And that's what you end up believing. You think Mother Mira became an avatar beyond enlightenment based on reversing the truth? That is not how you arrive at truth, by reversing shit. You're like Jeff Rentz taking voice recordings of people and listening to it backwards. Oh, it's reverse speech. Oh, Obama said the word evil. Hello? You're a bunch of goddamn delusional fuck-ups. You have invented your own system of goddamn tea leaves and you smoke that shit like Bob Marley. I know my psychology. I'm pointing it out, and then you go reversing it after I point it out to you because you don't want to believe it. Hello? Because you're busy pretending to be agents? You actually think it's difficult to get what it all is here with agents and agencies and the stalking and what qualifies me for going free? Hello? This is where I've been for 21 years, you fuck up. If I'm speaking the truth and you reverse it, strangely enough, you're no longer dealing with the truth. This is your own self-invented world, your own imaginary world, your own little delusional Disneyland and system of tea leaves. Look at my parents here with Dawn. Dawn had a vagina and she's a cop. Must be she's telling the truth. Hello? Actually, that proves Dawn lied. But take a look at what my parents believe. Hello? It proves the FBI lied as well. Hello? It's not how you arrive at truth. This is all about your cheap stereotypes and views of the world around you. Oh, there can't be a corrupt group of agents. Boy, you fucking dream. That's, you're going to find out anyhow, Jurgen. I don't have to do one damn thing. You're going to find out. If I'm telling the truth, how do you think it's going to play out when Horvat and her officers have to retire? You're balls to the walls incompetent, all of you. So then you go building this theory that I'm going to be going after agents when I'm free? Fuck all of you. I don't have to do one thing. You're going to find out anyhow. The next thing, Jurgen, this whole thing with enlightenment. How many people on the face of the planet, be honest about this, how many people on the face of the planet do you think have come close to doing it? Less than 1% of the world population. Can we agree on that one? Then take a look at the fact that I've been living and breathing this the entire time. Where do you think that puts my consciousness? I am, psychopaths are like 1% or 2% of the world population. It's a very small percentage. The amount of people with my type of consciousness is around the same ballpark here, about 1% maybe, less. It's got to be less than that. Hello? So rather than understand my consciousness is real and true, and this is how you've been fucking up the entire time, you go, oh, well, it can't be that he's different. And this is where you screwed up the entire time and wait here. Actually, my consciousness is different from the average population here, the same way that a psychopath's consciousness is different from the average population here. That's the entire point. All right, so man, I have got to get going. It's after 2 o'clock now. I've got to get going. That's it.